Today I'm going to be covering some top tips of what to look for when you're looking at condos that you may not have thought of. So if you like the channel, like it. If you hate it, subscribe. And then if you guys have ideas for videos, please list them. I need some ideas always, and I want to make sure I'm giving you guys stuff that's useful to you. Okay, condos. So you walk through the unit. Oh my God, it's so pretty. Wrong. Okay, no, that's important. It's important you like the inside, right? But what's more important is what in the world is going on with that condo development, okay? So here's a couple things that people don't think about that you should really pay attention and look at. Same would go for co-ops, okay? You wanna look at the age of the roof, right? And you may not be able to see it, get the binoculars. We've talked about this in other videos, but what you're looking for is you want to look at the exterior to see if there's any major capital improvements that are going to need to be done within the next few years. And the reason I say that is because any major capital improvements that need to be done, either the condo needs to be sitting on a stack of cash, or guess what? Your dues may be going up, or even worse, they can do a one-time assessment. Yes, yes, people don't realize that. So a lot of times people are buying a condo because they're priced out of a single family. So they're like, oh, I guess I can just afford a condo. But ultimately, a condo can end up costing more because the HOAs that you have right now, guess what? They're gonna change. They always change. They don't stay at the same level. And if they do stay at the same level, you're probably in more trouble, okay? So HOA dues need to go up in order to maintain the property. Now, if you're in a property where you're like, oh my God, the HOAs are so cheap. They're $112 a month. And then you walk around and you're like, oh, the siding is soft. These windows are really old and leaking. Oh, that's broken. Oh, that. Guess what? If they fix that stuff, they're either gonna have to jack those HOA dues up or they're gonna have to do an assessment. Now, what that can result in, I had a client, she's so nice, and I did not help her buy this place, although I wouldn't have known in fairness. So the place ended up having a foundation issue that was pretty serious. So every single homeowner, it was 400 HOA dues when they first bought the place. Then it went up to $1,200 a month. They can't say no. It's not up to the buyer. Like, as an owner, you can't be like, no, you're part of that HOA. You have to follow the rules. It is horrible. And then with this foundation issue, they're like, okay, we need each unit to pay $75,000. Yeah. I don't know about you guys. Do you have $75,000 under your pillowcase to pay for a repair that you weren't expecting? No. So then people are like, oh my God, how am I going to get the money? Sometimes the HOAs will try to figure out some sort of financing that everyone is then paying into. Sometimes they can't get financing. Sometimes it's up to the owners to come up with that money. So the owners are trying to figure out how to get money out, which is a challenge when there's already an issue, because usually there's a pretty big issue with the condo for this to be happening. It is a cluster. And a lot of this can be avoided by paying close attention to what's going on and how the property is being maintained. Now, if you look at it and you're like, okay, it has a new roof within the last 10 years, whoo, you know, they're clearly maintaining it, you know, it's in good condition, like it's clear there's, you know, pride of ownership. The fees are paying for this. That's number one, okay? Number two, read the meeting minutes. Yeah, so ask your real estate agent to get you all the meeting minutes. That's gonna tell you what the HOA has been talking about, right? And you wanna know what they've been talking about. I actually was on a co-op board for a day. And I have to tell you, the stuff that was discussed was crazy. And there was someone taking notes for the whole thing. And if someone had read these notes, they never would have bought a place in that co-op, because it was basically disaster, toil, and turmoil, like nonstop. It was like, I can't even tell you how terrible it was. And that's the thing. People don't read the minutes because everyone's like, oh, it's so pretty. Who cares? It's just people talking about dogs pooping in the lobby. I don't care. No. It will tell you if there's huge capital improvements they're thinking of. It will tell you if there's consistent issues. You know, if there's something you want to look also to see, like, is this an HOA that you vibe with? If you read through the notes and they're like nitpicking every single tenant non-stop, do you want to live in that life? I don't. If someone's gonna be like, Jennifer, you can't enter your apartment after 10 p.m. unless you take off your shoes and you tiptoe and then you touch this camera, like whatever, right? you want to look for that. You want to see if you're going to be in surveillance nation. Maybe you're into it, maybe you're not. I don't know, but it's worth reading about. So you're going to check the exterior. You're going to look for major capital improvements. You're going to be asking your real estate agent if there's any planned assessments or when they last raised the dues and if they're expected to, and you're going to read those meeting minutes like a detective. Okay, what else? What else? Last thing. Oh, there's more than one more last thing. Ccnr'S. I'm not even going to tell you what that stands for because I would get half of it wrong. But basically, it's like your rules, okay? Like, what do you have to abide by in that condo development? And sometimes there can be super weird stuff in there. Like, you know, if you have a guest, their car can't be parked in guest parking for longer than 2.5 hours. Otherwise, you get fined $1,000. There can be weird stuff in there. Or like, if you paint your door, it can only be in these 3 colors. Or, you know, there can be rules that you never could imagine would exist. So, you know, and a lot of them have rental restrictions. So you want to watch for that too. Like if you live there, if you're buying it owner occupied, but one day you might want to rent it out, you want to know if that's going to be a problem. Okay. Let's say that you're an air stewardess, right? That's not the correct name. What is the correct name now? It's not a hostess. I don't know. If you're the person on the plane that makes everyone who flies life amazing, thank you, we love you, and you're like, well, I want to rent out my apartment, Airbnb, when I'm in a different state or a different country, you better check those Ccnr'S because it's probably not allowed. So that's your guidebook to what your life will be like in that HOA. So even though you own the property, when you're in a condo, it doesn't mean you really have all the rights that you would have if you had a single family. Okay, so really watch those Ccnr'S. My last tip, who are your neighbors? Who are your neighbors? And does your lifestyle match theirs? So once upon a time, we had an apartment in New York that we rented and it was cool. Everything was cool. It was great. And then these gamers moved in, and the way the building is, and look, I'm not anti-gamer. As you guys know, Samantha on my team is a hardcore gamer. Follow her on Twitch. But the way that the chimneys worked, okay, these guys had like, they had everything. They got the consoles. They were like Wall Street bros, and like, it was a lot. And our living room would vibrate when they were gaming because it was coming up through the fireplace. So we had the sound coming through the fireplace. We had all the vibration that they really like that vibration, guys. It was unlivable. Unlivable. We moved within 3 months. We were like, we are out. This is disgusting. Because that's what you need to be careful of. Like, who's next door? Do you vibe with them? You know, there's certain foods that when I smell it being cooked, I will throw up. If you are making like a hot tuna dish, horrible. Please don't live next to me. And that's what you guys want to kind of look for. You want to do the sniff test. You know, what if they have a dog, they leave home all day that barks nonstop? I don't want to live next to that. Maybe you do, but you want to start thinking about this stuff. And instead of just being like, granite countertops, oh, beautiful view. No, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, yeah, okay. You need to do the detective work, guys. So look, as a lender, does any of this hurt me? No, absolutely not. If you guys move next to gamers, it doesn't affect the loan. You know, if the assessments go up and you can't afford the place and you end up foreclosure, that would be unfortunate to say the least. It's not stuff we look at with lending. We do look at, you know, do they have enough money? Are they like about to go bankrupt? But these nitty gritty things I'm telling you about, as a lender, it's nothing that we're looking for when you're doing your loan. So this is more after seeing so many of these different situations, living in these situations, what I would suggest in order to protect your money and protect your sanity. So thanks for watching, guys. I am licensed in 48 states to do mortgages, everywhere but Utah and Rhode Island. So questions, comments, you want to fill out a mortgage application because you're like, oh my God, I want to buy a condo. Who are those gamers? Can I move in? Please reach out. Thanks for watching.